whereas we are going to discuss about the CMA Inter July 2023 attempt indirect tax paper question paper analysis. In this particular video, we are going to discuss about the important areas while studying the question paper and how to write those things in the exam. We will see now. So section B. So here section A deals with here section A deals with income tax, whereas section B here deals with our indirect taxes. So any question, so with respect to section B, indirect taxes, that is GST and customs, I think all of you know about that particular thing. In the section B, indirect taxes question paper, GST is for 40 marks and whereas customs is for 10 marks. So with respect to that, answer question number 6 and any 3 from the question number 7, 8, 9 and 10. That means question number 6 is compulsory. From the rest of the 4 questions, we need to answer any 3. That means one external choice was there with respect to our indirect taxes. I think with respect to the first one, question number 1, I think it is with respect to the MCQs or true or false or fill in the blanks. Generally, they are going to be asked for 14 marks. Here, choose the correct alternative. That means MCQ questions are there. With respect to MCQ questions, 1 into 6, 6 marks will be there here. And true or false, 1 into 4, 4 marks will be there here. And whereas with respect to this fill in the blanks, 1 into 4, 4 marks. Total 14 marks. I think, but whereas from the new pattern, I think the majority of the questions will be MCQs as far as my knowledge is concerned. In the going future, whatever the questions that are going to be asked, more of them will be in the form of MCQs. So, if you observe the MCQs here, they are more of a straight of kind. Straightforward MCQs are here. See the first one, randomly we'll check few things here. Which article of the Constitution has been given the power to make the law with respect to GST? The straightforward question, article number 246A, no twist. Okay. See the second one, under the GST law, which of the following supplies are naturally bundled? Pack of school bag, water box and lunch box, artificial bundle, rent deed executed for renting of 2 different floors, artificial bundle, canned food, pizza, ice cream, pastry and cake, artificial bundle, laptop with a laptop bag. I think straightforward one, it is a natural one. Like that. In our CMA Inter, if you observe here, the straightforward questions are going to be asked. You can check randomly with respect to other ones also. With respect to state true or false, okay, we'll see the second one. Where an application for GST registration has been submitted by the applicant after the expiry of 30 days from the date of his becoming liable to registration, the effective date of registration shall be the date on which the person becomes liable to registration. Okay. If you observe here, not only this, okay, we can go randomly, not randomly, or we can see the total here. Under GST law, which of the following supplies is completed? What is the third one? Under GST law, which of the following shall be discharged first while discharging the liability of a taxable person? Previous tax period, current tax period, 73 and 74, no such condition is mandatory. So this is also a direct one, previous tax period. We can check the answer. See, 246A, laptop and laptop bag. Okay. First, all dues relating to the previous tax period is needed to be filled. Later on, we need to fill the current tax period. Later on, 73 and 74. Next one. Under GST law, what is the due date of filing the final return? So 20th of the next month, 18th of the month succeeding the quarter, within 3 months of the date of cancellation or date of order of cancellation, whichever is later, 31st December of the next financial year. So I think within 3 months. Okay, this is with respect to annual return. So the next point will be which of the following value shall be excluded for determining the transaction value of the consignment for e-way bill under GST. Packing charges, delivery charges, value of exempted supply if invoice has both taxable and exempted goods, CGST, SGST or UDGST and IGST. So definitely what is the thing that will be excluded? Exempted supplies. So straightforward, if you observe here, say under Customs Act 1962, all the goods, derelict, jetsam, flotsam and wreck brought or coming into India shall be dealt with as if they were into India, imported. This imported. So if you observe, all the questions that are asked here are very much straightforward questions and no twist, no case-based MCQs are also asked here. Okay. And true or false? One of the total number of members of the GST Council shall constitute the quorum at its meeting. What is meant by the word quorum? The minimum attendance that is required to conduct the meeting. So definitely 50%, that is true. What is the second one in true or false? Where an application for GST registration has been submitted by the applicant after the expiry of 30 days from the date of his becoming liable to registration, the effective date of registration shall be the date on which the person becomes liable to registration. So what is the concept with respect to this? From the date when you become liable for registration, if you apply for RC within 30 days, then even though RC was subsequently granted, what is the effective date? The date when you become liable for registration. But if you apply for RC after 30 days, then the date of actual date of RC is deemed to be the effective date of registration. Okay. Based on that, here he applied after 30 days. Therefore, it should be what should be the effective date of registration? Actual date of RC. But here it was given that the person becomes liable to registration. That date will be the effective date. Is it a valid one? No. Definitely false. Next one, where any article exported by the exporter to India at less than its normal value, the central government may impose anti-dumping duty but not the safeguard duty. So definitely, is it true or false? False. Gifts exceeding 50,000 rupees in value in a financial year by the employer to the employee shall be treated as the supply of the goods or services or both under GST. If at all it is more than 50,000, it shall be considered as a supply. Here the word is given is shall not. In this case, what is the position? It is true or false? False. You can check here, see. So under GST law, in case of taxable supply of the services by the insurer, the invoice shall be issued within a period of how many number of days? 45 days. Straightforward one. Under GST, a registered person may not issue the tax invoice to the unregistered person if the value is less than 200. In case of NRDB, the certificate of GST registration shall be valid for the period specified in the application for registration or dash from the effective date of registration, whichever is earlier. So that is 90 days. Under Customs Act, baggage includes unaccompanied baggage but does not include motor car. Side forward questions, now nothing is difficult here with respect to the MCQs here. See, these are the answers. So if you observe the question number 1, what we can conclude, if you are having above average knowledge of the indirect taxes, then definitely you are able to answer the questions for this. So definitely you can score out of 14 a minimum of 10 to 12. If at all you are familiar with the subject, not in-depth understanding is also needed for answering this type of standard questions. But I am not saying that every time this type of questions will be asked, but whatever the question paper is there, that MCQs are given. Based on that, what we can conclude here? What we can conclude is here, above average knowledge is sufficient to answer these MCQs. Now see the question paper, descriptive one, 7A, 4 marks. It was asked from the chapter, that means chapter number 1, GST in India, and introduction part. So, identify any 4 issues in the pre-GST regime which were addressed by the GST law. Very much basic question. It is a direct and straightforward question, theory question that was asked and which is also covered in our masterminds material. Generally further, there is a special division with respect to that, that is known as SAQs, that is short answer questions. But okay, it is not every time you are that much lucky, because generally the copy paste style questions will be asked rarely, and in this particular attempt that particular question was asked, direct theory question. Okay, so sir, how to answer this type of theory question? First of all, with respect to theory paper, I just want to say you 2 words. If at all it is a problematic part, more practice is needed. If at all it is a theory subject, more listening is needed. That's why in order to answer these questions, definitely you should listen to the class very attentively. Then only you are easily able to answer the questions with when you are having the conceptual clarity. Okay. So that's why every time I will say that please read the questions which are given in our masterminds material. At the end of the each chapter, what is given in our masterminds material, please keep focus on them, whether they are short answer questions or they may be CRDs or there may be problems for or practical questions for self practice. You need to do all of them. Okay. Read all of them without fail because they are very much important. So direct theory question, so where it is covered is also given. SAQ 21, where it is given in the CMA material, that was also given. Next question is 7B, 8 marks, it is from registration chapter. So examine with brief reasons whether the following supplies of the taxable goods or services are required to register under GST law, and what is the threshold limit for registration here? See, Simran, trader of Assam, exclusively engaged in intrastate supply. Furniture as well as building bricks, and the aggregate turnover of furniture is 20 lakhs, whereas building bricks is 50 lakhs. Generally, with respect to Assam, if at all you are exclusive supplier of the goods, the registration limit will be 40 lakhs. But with respect to some notified goods like ice cream, pan masala, tobacco, aerated water, building bricks, fly ash bricks, roofing tiles, except aerated water, which is covered under composition scheme. The rest of the things are covered under this registration also. With respect to those notified goods, instead of 40 lakhs, what is the limit that will be applicable? 20 lakhs is the limit that will be applicable. Here, the total turnover is 35, which is more than the limit. In that case, what is the position, Definitely, what is the position, Yes, we are required to take the registration. Next one. Shaili Enterprises of Himachal Pradesh engaged in intrastate supply of computer as well as repair service. If at all you involved in service, automatically your registration limit will be reduced to 20 lakhs. Here, what is the turnover total? 38 lakhs. 30 lakhs with respect to computer supply, and 8 lakhs with respect to repair supply. Therefore, are you liable or not liable? Liable. So if you observe these questions also, if at all you are having the conceptual clarity, you are able to answer them. See, but with respect to this type of question, there is no direct practical question in CMA study material, but the provision was asked in a practical way. That's why learning the provision conceptually is more important, not by just mug up those things. If you mug up those things, then you are able to write only the theory questions. But here, when there is any practical question which is not covered in your CMA study material, while it is covered under the provision, then definitely you need to learn that particular thing in a conceptual way. That's why the each provision in GST is that much important. That's why I told you so many number of times in the class also, never expect copy paste style of questions. This is an example for that. 7A, this is 7B series. So Simran trader is liable for registration. See? This one is also liable for registration. Okay. Our next one is question number 8. 8A, 4 marks, chapter levy and collection of GST. Here, FCM or RCM based question ma this one. Assess which person is liable to pay the GST in the following independent cases, where the supplier and the recipient both are located in the taxable territory. Ignore the aggregate turnover and exemption available. First transport company, which is unregistered under GST, a GTA, transported the goods to joint enterprises, a partnership firm, which is not registered under GST. What is the answer for this? GTA services to any specified recipients. It is covered under RCM. Here also, that one is covered under RCM. So, GTA is a supplier, and whereas partnership firm is a specified recipient. In that case, definitely it is covered under RCM. Recipient is liable to pay the GST. In the same way, the next question, Pooja Jewelers Limited is registered under GST. Paid 5 lakhs for the sponsorship with respect to a beauty show, which is going to be organized in Mumbai, to Sweet & Co., a partnership firm, which is registered under GST. Sponsorship services are also covered under RCM. Therefore, definitely the recipient is liable to pay the GST. Therefore, the Pooja Jewelers is liable to pay the GST there. So, this one also is not a direct theory question, ma. So, it was a provision that was asked in a practical way. So, that's why it is covered. The similar one is covered under our masterminds material in problem number CRD2. Okay, that means the practical question CRD2. And the theory provisions are covered where in the CMA material was given there also. That means to learn the concept in the conceptual way with more clarity is the main thing with respect to write these type of questions. Next one is 8B, 8 marks. It is from the chapter Input Tax Credit. Jagmug Limited is the manufacturer and supplier of the goods registered under GST in the state of Rajasthan. It provides the following information pertaining to GST paid on the input service supplies during the month of October 2022. So here, a very simple one, goods that are obsolete and whose value has been written off in the books of accounts. That means whenever a thing is written off in the books of accounts as per 17 subsection 5, what is the thing? You need to reverse the ITC. ITC is not allowed. Straightforward one. Raw material for which invoice has been received and GST was paid, but we received only 90% of the material. Balance 10% was received in next month. How much you receives, up to that extent only you can claim the ITC. Therefore, in the 50,000, only 90% is allowed as ITC. Car purchased for making further supply, but the car is destroyed in test drive. Destruction, no ITC. 17.5, negative list. Works contract services used for the repairs and renovation of the own office building, which is debited in P&L account. If at all it is capitalized, no ITC. If at all it is debited in the P&L account, definitely we can claim the ITC. Next one. Bus purchased for transport of its employees to and from home to office, having approved seating capacity of 13 persons, including the driver. With respect to the bus capacity, it is more than 13 or less than 13? More than 13. Allowed or not allowed? Allowed. Raw materials purchased for which invoice is missing, but the DC is available, no ITC. So, we assume that all necessary conditions are satisfied. Compute the total ITC here. That means this is a basic question. That means not that much difficulty is there with respect to ITC. This was a basic question. It was taken from the combination of various provisions of ITC. Similar type of practical question is already there in our material. Okay, you can check it once. They are very much basic standard input tax credit answer. Okay, ma'am. See, no ITC. Okay, only 10% is car purchase, no ITC. And okay, basic level question. This one is now you can check the ninth one. With respect to the ninth one, 9A1, 2 marks, chapter levy and collection of GST. State the rates of CGST and SGST under the composition scheme in respect of the following. Providers of the goods. What is the rate of composition scheme? 1% of 1% of 1% of taxable turnover, manufacturer 1% of aggregate turnover. Okay, those are the straightforward rates that were asked. This is a direct and straightforward concept based theory question which is covered in material and as part of theory part. Okay, and this is 9A2 10 marks, chapter input tax credit. Lakshmi Limited is supplier of the goods, pays GST under regular scheme. It has made the following outward taxable supplies in a tax period. Like some outward supplies details are given, some inward supplies details are given, and ITC purchase details are given. Okay. So based on that, we need to compute. This is a basic question. So definitely based on this output tax payable we will calculate, and on this we will calculate the ITC, and this is opening ITC. Based on the opening ITC, what is the position? Based on the opening ITC. Okay. Opening ITC plus ITC, we will get the total ITC. It will be reduced from the output tax payable. Okay. Very straightforward question. You can answer this type of questions. Already told you 3 steps. Step 1, computation of output tax payable. Step 2, ITC. And step 3, the net amount needed to be paid in cash. So this is 9B, 4 marks, chapter exemptions. So with respect to this, Siddhi, a registered supplier of Rajasthan, has received the following amounts in respect of activities undertaken by him during the month of October 2022. Amount received for services provided to Indian Olympic Association as a team manager. As a team manager, it is always exempted. Amount received for warehousing of rice, exempted. Amount of received for the services by way of labor contract for repairing a single residential unit otherwise than as a part of residential complex, 10,000. So definitely it is taxable. This is a straightforward question. Provision covered in material as well as, okay, based on that you need to answer the questions. Okay, application oriented knowledge is required in order to answer this particular question. Okay, ma'am, that's why comprehensive practical questions at the end of the each chapter we have given. Please pay more attention to them in order to answer these type of questions. And this is 10A, 8 marks valuation with respect to customs. While answering the customs marks, straightforward format will be there for you. First one is ex-factory price. Further, any expenditure that is incurred in the foreign country will be added to that and including the loading charges into the ship. Thereby, we will arrive the FOB. For the FOB, initially you will add 10(1) adjustments. Thereby, you will get the customs FOB. For the customs FOB, 10(2) amounts will be added. Thereby, we will get the CF value. On the CF value, we are liable to pay the customs duty. Okay. So this is cost of the mission, freight charges, actual insurance is not given. If it is in the problem, actual insurance is not given, 1.125% of FOB will be the insurance charges. Designing charges undertaken in USA. What is the position? Definitely with respect to that. Includable. Handling charges, includable. Transport charges from the factory of the exporter to the port of shipment, includable. Transport charges from Mumbai to Kandla within India, excludable. Light rate charges, includable. Exchange rates is given in the problem. Basic question mark this is, you can check the answer here. So this is with respect to ITC 91A. Already we told you. Step 1, computation of output tax payable. Step 2, total ITC. Step 3, minimum amount needed to be paid in cash. Okay. And this is exemptions. This is 10AC. This is FOB by adding all these things. For that, freight charges and insurance will be added. CF value on that. Light rate charges will be added to that. This is assessable value. Okay. So, very basic level question, practical question. It was asked in the exam. And so here with respect to this, the last one will be 10B 4 marks, tax invoice, debit note, credit notes and e-way bill. Here, Shiv Gauri Trader Registered Supplier under GST provides the following information regarding the various tax invoices issued by it during the month of October. Value of supply charged in the invoice number was 1,50,000 as against the actual tax payable 3,50,000. What is the invoice value? 1,50,000. What is the actual value? 3,50,000. Invoice value is less than actual value. What is the thing we need to issue? A debit note or credit note? A debit note. C. Next one. Invoice value is 2 lakhs, whereas actual value is 1,50,000. That means invoice value is more than actual value. What is the thing we need to issue? A credit note. Next one. Tax indicated the invoice is 45, whereas actual one is 12,500. Tax indicated the invoice is more than actual tax payable. What is the thing we need to issue now? A credit note. Next one. Invoice tax charge in invoice is 25. Actual liability is 50. Actually, tax indicated in invoice is less than actual tax payable. That's why. What is the position, ma'am? A debit note is needed to be issued. Okay. And this is a basic important provision, ma'am. So based on that, the question was asked and we covered this type of questions in our CRDs. Okay. If you observe here, definitely the paper is very much easy. And if at all you're having the conceptual clarity with respect to the provisions, you're 100% easily you can answer the question. Hope this video will be useful to you.